There's always going to be dumb people out there, and when they end up in a car chase, it doesn't end well. Especially for these three people who thought they could run from the police, but ended up making themselves look like idiots. And they were caught, even by officers that held onto the car while driving for half a mile. It all started on January 27, 2024. When a 911 dispatcher received a call about a domestic violence abuse incident.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
I'm actually calling for a friend. I'm down the street from her house. She lives on Shady Wood. Her and her daughter are there. They're in danger. This guy, he's threatening to kill her. He almost did try to kill her last night, she said, and I'm just really worried, and I don't know what to do.
The suspect was 40-year-old Juan Valdez. The incident is reported to have occurred at the victim's home on Shadywood Avenue. The caller expresses fear that Juan is threatening the lives of her friend and her daughter. She's also mentioned that Juan probably has warrants out for his arrest. When Officer Novello arrives on scene, it's already a little chaotic and emotional.
Why are you guys running from John?
He needs help.
Here, come back here.
He tried to kill me last night.
Here, come back here. Talk to this guy.
The victims are in tears, and Officer Novello needs to figure out what is happening. Before Officer Novello approached anyone, he locked his patrol vehicle just in case anyone had any ideas. Officers Novello and Soyanko try to figure out what's happening. As they attempt to interact with him, Juan becomes uncooperative and flees the scene in a Nissan Vera, prompting a police chase.
Boys, we have one taken off. 20 is going to be Tate, David, William, 589, gold colored Nissan Versa. It's going to be the male half.
Street name?
Heading south on Jasper. Back.
He drives in a circle and ends up right where he started, acting confused and asking for an explanation. But in reality, he's not interested in a response from the officers, as what he does next is textbook for a person who lacks both brains and decency for the public's safety.
Turn the car off now! I'm gonna get your 40.
3.13, CMC wants to know what the lawn is.
Hey, where's your 40, dude?
Boys, we're trying to figure it out right now.
Turn your car off. Turn your car off. Stop. Out in front of you. Shadywood.
Copy, westbound Shadywood.
Northbound Havenwood.
That you tried to show them last night. And we're going to be going westbound Castlewood, 815.
Copy, westbound Castlewood.
Northbound Rosewood, 15 miles an hour, no fit.
Juan decides to try his luck in an escape, but with a rather strange approach. He's driving very slowly? Wait, why? Maybe he just wants to give Officers Novello and Soyanko a chance. Well, he'll soon find out that the Lathrop Police Department is not to be tested. Juan leads police on a chase that spans a distance of just under 2 miles to the intersection of South Harlan Road and Roth Road. By now, Juan is trying much harder to lose the police, but he's about to endanger more lives than just himself. He decides that it's a good idea to drive into opposite lanes of travel, risking not just his life and officers, but the general public.
And stand by for the next turn. We're going to go westbound on Roth. And he's going the wrong way for a second here.
One thing is for certain, don't commit multiple crimes while you are in front of law enforcement, especially when you have a warrant out for your arrest. It's not going to end well. Juan clearly isn't thinking straight as he tries to put his Nissan into reverse but is stopped by Officer Soyanko by ramming the back of the Nissan.
Copy, westbound Bronx, and we have PJ unit that was 21.
Juan enters the southbound lane of Interstate 5. On his way down the on-ramp, his tire starts to buckle due to the ramming he just received. You can see him almost lose control of his car. He makes it another 2.5 miles before his vehicle starts falling apart, even more, notably shredding tire and wheel parts. Rubber begins to fly everywhere. This can't end well, right? Especially with innocent motorists right in front of him.
Boy, 13, his tire's coming apart.
Tire coming apart.
Keep bailing.
Across towards the median, trying to carjack somebody.
Up to this point, Juan has displayed pretty useless escape tactics. As if he has already shown his low-level IQ score, he decides to make it appear worse by hanging onto the side of the blue car. He's not even letting go. Imagine that road rash. Juan just did not want to give up. The chase came to an end when the innocent driver in the blue car stopped, and Juan rushed around the car in an attempt to carjack it from the passenger side. But Officer Sayenko isn't having it. He's got his service weapon drawn and warns Juan multiple times. Juan forces Officer Sayenko to drop him to the ground with 2 squeezes of the trigger. It's a chaotic scene, but ultimately, Juan surrenders, gets some handcuffs slapped on his wrists, and is treated for his wounds.
Just south of Louise.
I'm gonna get the iPad.
We are rendering first aid.
Come on, your knees! Bro, I can't breathe!
Hey, chill! He's shot. Are you guys able to help us?
Juan is transported to the hospital. Once released from medical care, he is booked into San Joaquin County Jail and charged with multiple felony charges, including carjacking, false imprisonment, evading arrest, resisting arrest, and also additional charges of committing a felony while out on release from custody on a prior felony. Juan displayed some insanely questionable decision-making skills. Surely by now you know you're not getting away, right? But this isn't the only time someone was holding on to the outside of a vehicle while moving. In fact, that's exactly what this US Marshal did, and he didn't let go for half a mile. It all started when an Illinois state officer pulled over a driver in a black Mazda SUV in Riverton for speeding. The driver's name was Nancy Ann Rhodes, and she was going 70 in a 40-mile-per-hour zone. The officer also has an intern with him, so this was going to be interesting.
You got a passenger? I'm checking that now. Roll this down, please. How are you? Hey. You can roll this one down now if you want. I don't see one. Hey, you got a passenger in here with you? Huh? Okay. Do you have your license insurance on you? Okay, I'm gonna come around there, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
That's good.
I just gotta find my purse real quick.
Huh?
I gotta find my purse real quick. That's all.
Okay.
That's all I'm looking for.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. I'm just. I know.
Can you roll this other window down for me real quick, please? Just standard stuff. Thank you. All the way if you could.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where are you coming from? I just can't hear. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm coming from Kentucky.
Okay.
Daniels, I'm going back.
Okay.
The officer already knows something's up. He smells alcohol and notices there is no one with Nancy in the car. She denies any questions about having anything to drink, but she makes the excuse that she spilled alcohol on the rug of the car. Yeah, not buying that one.
Okay. Hey, can you step up on me real quick? Just so I can talk to you to make sure it definitely is just to spill it on the floorboard, okay?
No, fine. I actually have it.
Okay. Oh, you've actually got it.
It's literally everywhere.
Can I see that?
Yeah. Let's say you can do breath and everything. I have
This is out. So this is alcohol in here.
It was at one point. I'm gonna say it's from.
Okay. Why don't you come over here? I can't hear you.
Okay, I said following you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know I was speeding. We went.
Why don't you come over here?
My aunt's been sick. She actually lives in
She what?
McDaniels. She's mixed up. She lives in McDaniels.
Okay.
And it's my birthday was actually just on the 20th.
Have you had a little bit?
No. Literally.
Okay.
I have not been drinking today. My 21st just passed. 21st
Unfortunately,
just
you can't have open alcohol in
passed.
Illinois.
Take that.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Give me my ticket. You're good.
Do you have your insurance on you?
I do have it. I have to pull it up on my phone.
Hey, do you mind, can you show me back in the hatch? Just make sure you don't have anywhere open alcohol in there. Is that okay? Can you just open this hatch for me and stuff? I just want to make sure you have no open alcohol in there, okay?
I just got to come off real quick.
At this point, the officer noticed a passenger who had not been seen until now moving to the driver's seat and locked the doors. Turns out that this suspect is 31-year-old Robert Collins, who had a $200,000 warrant out for his arrest for the manufacturing delivering of a controlled substance. He was hiding in the back of the SUV under random clothing and blankets. Robert takes off despite the commands from the officer to stop. What follows might cause you to question the sanity of either the US Marshal or the complete disregard for life that Robert is clearly used to.
I just got to come off real quick.
He's taking off! Get your hands up! Get your hands up! Hands up!
Stop! Get him. Please get him.
Springfield 93, subject just took off. You tried to drag one of the marshals with him. Do I have permission to pursue?
93, 10-4, your location.
Hold that. Route 54, he's going on French School Road now. Hold that.
93, 10-4.
He is dragging a marshal. Request additional units now.
83, 10-4.
The US Marshal is taken on a rather unique joyride while hanging onto the door of the SUV. Robert drags the Marshal half a mile down Highway 54 before slowing down enough to let the Marshal let go and jump to safety. Well, in front of the pursuing officer. He's narrowly avoided and the chase continues. Robert is pursued further down Highway 54 and under Interstate 55. At this point, you can see that the wet road conditions are causing it to be slippery as Robert struggles to maintain control. It's also at this point that the supervisor talks about terminating the chase as it's starting to get busy. It's also not a bad idea since they have already ID'd Robert, so they can try to find him later.
8391. Sounds like it's getting excessive. If you get into the populated area, terminate.
Understood.
We know who he is. You identified him, right?
10-4. Driver had open alcohol on her, and he popped up from the hatch underneath a bunch of clothing and took off the driver's seat. Springfield 93 route over I-55. He's heading into Springfield. Springfield 93, he just 1050. He's heading now westbound down Sangamon Avenue, bounced off the guardrail. He's heading the wrong way into traffic.
Just confirming 83, you're no longer pursuing.
Even though the pursuit was terminated, a state trooper was able to follow Robert until the wet conditions were too much, and Robert had to ditch the SUV because he's got bad driving skills. You can see he crashed onto the median on East Clear Lake Avenue. He then took the chase on foot onto Bergen Golf Course and was eventually caught, arrested, and processed. Wow, what a show for the intern though. He won't forget this one. Robert Collins was charged with attempted first-degree murder of a US Marshal, aggravated fleeing and eluding, resisting a peace officer, manufacturing and delivery of a controlled substance. Even with the crazy stunts from the Marshal, they still survive. Something we can't say for Edward Hopkins, a bank robber who faced some serious complications during one of the craziest crashes. On September 12, 2019, in the small town of Wharton, Texas, two men who were identified as Tony Wayne Mitchell and Edward Demon Hopkins robbed the First State Bank of Louise at gunpoint. They fled with an undisclosed amount of money and ended up in Lufkin. Later that evening, Lufkin police attempted a traffic stop on Hopkins while he was driving on Loop 287, but he led officers on a chase that reached speeds above 130 miles per hour. They ordered Edward to stop, but he continued as if nothing was happening.
Stop the vehicle! Stop the vehicle! Stop!
This officer is helping the lead officers, Officer Cody Deal and Constable Tom Selman, with a plan to stop Edward. He's going up ahead to place spike strips on the road in an attempt to end this chase before it goes for too long. In front of Edward is Constable Selman, who is trying to slow the chase and help prepare for the spike strip. Further up ahead, under the overpass of Highway 2021 and Highway 59, the trap is set. Constable Selman is trying to slow down and get as close to the front bumper of Edward to prevent him from seeing the spike strips on the road, waiting for him. Then he swerves to get out of the way, and to everyone's surprise and disappointment, Edward sees this trick and avoids the spike strips. It's almost like Edward is going to turn up the heat now because he starts to actively evade law enforcement.
About 75-80 right now.
Like I get up to so if I have units there on the river bridge, I'd be a good spot for signs. Right now, at high rate of speed.
Constable Selman just witnessed one of the worst outcomes that could happen in a pursuit. Edward lost control due to his high-speed, reckless driving and plowed through an electrical pole, through the trees, and onto the golf course near the 12th hole. He leaves a massive cloud of dust behind him, hiding the true severity of the accident of the crash until we see the dust settle. Constable Selman takes the small dirt road that leads onto Woodland Hills Golf Club and is the first onto the crash site. The damage is devastating as Edward collided with a tree, taking his life instantly. An undisclosed amount of cash was recovered from the vehicle, along with a loaded pistol and an additional magazine. The other bank robber, 42-year-old Tony Mitchell, was still at large but was eventually arrested at a hotel by the FBI in Houston near Highway 59 and Hillcroft Avenue on Saturday afternoon, 2 days after the robbery. He now sits in Wanton County Jail with a bond set at $200,000. These are some truly crazy chases, but have you seen the time when police crash while chasing idiots and they almost die? Click on the video on screen to see what happened to this officer before the video disappears. Don't forget to subscribe.